You got a DUI in Lynnwood or Washington State? That's a big problem. Well, my name's Lance Fryrear, and I'm the Defender of Justice. Defender of Justice. Defender of Justice. Defender of Justice. I don't normally look like this. I look like this. And I'm making this video to go over 3 things that you need to know and 3 questions you might have about your DUI. I'm going to cover number 1, what you can do to help keep from losing your license. Number 2, what you can do to stay out of jail. And number 3, steps you can take today to greatly improve your chances to both keep your license and stay out of jail. Because let's face it, we need our license to drive, we need to stay out of jail to keep our job, and this is just a big, stressful event. So again, who am I? I'm Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. We've been defending people charged with DUIs for more than 20 years. And the number one thing I want to cover is what you need to do right away to try to keep your license. So if you received a DUI charge, there's a good chance you either blew a .08 or higher on a breath test, or you refused a breath test. In any of those cases, the police officer is going to send a notice to the Department of Licensing telling them to suspend your license. Now, what I want you to do is look at your paperwork and see if you got a DUI hearing request form. I know you've been pretty stressed. You might have been given a lot of paperwork. You might have even been in jail. But take a look at that piece of paper, and you'll notice that you only have 7 days from the date of the event to request a licensing hearing. And that's the law as I'm filming this in December of 2020. So if it's much later than that, double check the paperwork. You might want to check with an attorney, but you've got 7 days to request that licensing hearing. And you'll also notice to request the hearing, you need to pay $375 for the hearing. So Lance, what if I don't request the hearing? Well, if you don't request the hearing, the law says that the 31st day after the event, you're going to suffer a license suspension. But if you request the license hearing, it's going to put that suspension on hold. So what is a licensing hearing? It's a telephonic hearing between a hearing examiner and your attorney about whether or not the officer did things correctly. Did they process the DUI correctly? Was the breath test machine working? Things like that. It's really important to request that hearing because it gives us a chance to fight about your license and try to keep you with your license. So make sure you do that. You can do it online or by the mail. You can give my office a call and we're able to help you as well. The second thing I want to cover is what you can do to try to stay out of jail. Because if you're charged with a DUI, it's one of the only crimes in Washington State, one of the only non-felony crimes that has a mandatory jail sentence. On a first offense, if you have a breath test below a 1.5 but above an 0.8, there's a 1 day in jail penalty minimum. If you're at 1.5 or above, it's 2 days minimum, and it gets way worse if this is not your first offense. And so what can you do to stay out of jail? Well, number 1, you want to try to, write down everything that happened so you can remember it. What did the officer tell you? What was the area like where you did field sobriety tests if you did do them? Was it level? Was it well lit? What type of clothes were you wearing? Were you wearing big high heels so you couldn't walk a line, or work boots? So those are things you might not remember later. Number 2, you need to try to find an attorney. There's a lot of good attorneys out there that are willing to help you with a DUI, and you need to do that right away. We can help you. You can always give us a call, but there's lots of us out there, so get an attorney right away. And number 3 is going to go into the next portion of what I'm answering is there's some things you can do to try to keep yourself from going to jail. So what are the things you can do to try to keep yourself from going to jail? Well, mainly we're going to usually have you do an alcohol and drug evaluation with a state certified agency. Most of the time we're going to say, hey, go to a certain agency and they're going to ask you questions and then you're going to answer them and they're going to determine whether or not you have a problem with alcohol. Now think about it. If you do this quickly, prior to being charged with a crime or right away after being charged with a crime, you look much better to the prosecutor and much better for the court. So if your breath test isn't super high, you have a better chance of getting the case reduced to a lesser charge. And a lesser charge will likely keep you out of jail. The second thing you can do is you can try to do a Dui Victims Panel. The court's going to order one anyway. And so there's plenty of places you can do a Dui Victims Panel. What is that? You're going to go to basically a group setting, and during COVID times it might be on video, but if it's well after that, hopefully it's in person by now. And you're going to listen to either a police officer talk about what he's seen regarding DUI crashes and things like that, or you might hear from someone who suffered an injury in a DUI crash. And it's trying to make us be aware that it's pretty dangerous to drive under the influence of alcohol. So you can do that evaluation, you can do the DUI Victims Panel, and again, write everything down that happened where you can remember and contact an attorney right away. So I hope you found this video helpful. You could always give our office a call if you want. Again, my name is Lance Fryrear. I'm the owner of the law office of Lance Fryrear. We've been defending people charged with crimes in Lynnwood for more than 20 years. If you find this video useful, you could like our channel, subscribe to our channel, like the video, things like that. But just give us a call. We'll see what we can do to help. We'll do everything we can to help you. We'll be there for you. Thank you.